Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. With the new administration in Lagos committed to being Lagos's most inclusive movement, United People Global, UPG, is starting a movement to enable interactions between Lagos residents and the Lagos state government that will have a real impact on the lives of real people. The theme for its inaugural event, which was held last night, is titled, quote-unquote, Towards a Greater Lagos. OG Okpe attended the event, the executive launch for the initiative, which had major stakeholders pushing towards the agenda. Let's take a look.
We're here for the executive launch for the United People Global Initiative, which is an opportunity for local and international stakeholders to push the agenda towards a greater Lagos. There will be a keynote speech by His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State. He will be focusing on 6 priorities that will push the agenda to change the narrative for Lagos.
What we're doing here is still pushing all of the goals together so that we'll have the right conversations around ensuring that everybody participates in the conversations of Lagos. And this is the inclusive government we're talking about. While everybody must have a say, must have something they're donating to it, and we in the public sector take everything on, go back, go and retool it, go and listen again very well, and see that your main objective is to improve the quality of life for your people, to make sure that you've given them an environment where they can do well.
I would like to recommend some of the NGOs that you should really try to empower, because they are doing some excellent things, namely Recyclers, who has just started a scheme to allow parents in a school in Ajegule to pay school fees with recycled bottles. I'm sure some of you have heard that. How can we scale this initiative? This is a wonderful initiative. Lagos is full of plastic bottles, and Lagos is full of public schools that could be encouraged to open up their schools to similar initiatives.
Well, 37 years ago, we had ferry services that worked. 37 years later, the only things you see on the water are tiny things carrying 6 passengers from Ikorodu to Victoria Island. So that's what I'm saying, we're not reinventing any way. We can't even reproduce what worked 37 years ago. So we have water in Lagos, and we don't move people by water. We need ferries that can take 400 passengers. So if you don't have ferries to utilize the waterways, and you don't have rail lines to mass carry people, and all of us have to get on our cars, that is the crisis in this place. Every other thing doesn't make sense if we can't move around in Lagos. Today, the 3 critical commercial nerve centers of Lagos are Papa, the Badagry axis with all the industries there, and now the Lekki axis with all the upcoming things. There are 3 places you can't get to. You can't get to Okpe. You can't get beyond Mile 2 towards all industrial park that we built towards Badagry. You can't get towards Okpe, that is the emerging industrial park. So you can't move your goods, you can't move human beings. Every other thing we're talking about, whether it's electricity, whether it's agriculture, it makes no sense if 20 million people will be moving through tracks instead of roads and rails and water transportation.
The Apapa gridlock that my good brother talked about will not go away. But I can only say that we have actually moved, the goalpost from it being on the Go Bridge, we're moving it to Creek Road now. And we're hoping that very quickly we'll get up onto, the Tinkan and the Apapa port itself. But that still doesn't solve the problem, because they still need to fix that whole road from Tinkan right up to Ogoshoki Road. But the truth about Apapa is that all of us sat back, and for 10 years, the city had grown that port with the level of importations and all of the things we've been having to do in the last 37 years, like you said, and we were not forward planning. We have this much water, we could have since pushed either the Badagry port or the Lekki port, and that would have certainly created an alternative for us, and then I wouldn't have been losing all of the businesses that we're having in Apapa now. But that's not to say that we shouldn't do it. Even it's taken this long for our colleagues in Abuja to listen to it. And we've started because I'm part of it. I'm in that committee, and we met today in Abuja, I mean, I will be meeting again this weekend, actually on Saturday again, to ensure that once they move, we can lock it down. Once they move, we can lock it down.
There you have it. All the stakeholders spoke in detail on how to push towards a greater Lagos. Some of them spoke above the agenda, which includes transportation, health and environment, education, making Lagos a 21st century economy, entertainment, sports and tourism, security and governance. I actually spoke with His Excellency, and he told me one of the top priorities on these 6 pillars will be transportation, and he's working towards making transportation an easy flow for every Lagosian. I am Okpe for Arise TV.